Welcome back to Happy Aura, my peaceful corner of the internet where we embrace mindful living, emotional clarity, and the quiet magic of being comfortable in our own skin. Today, I want to talk about something that has been sitting in my heart for a long time. Something that always seems to come up whenever I share little pieces of my lifestyle online. Every time I post something about how I live, how I organize my life, or even how I spend my weekends, people tend to link it to a kind of depressing existence. They assume that anyone who enjoys slower days, quiet routines, or a bit of distance from the constant noise of social life must be living a sad little life. And honestly, it fascinates me how common this assumption is. I've spent a lot of time thinking about why people believe this, and I have a few theories. One of the biggest reasons, in my opinion, is that today's society has attached the idea of a happy life to excessive socialization. For many people, happiness means being surrounded by others, going to parties, drinking alcohol, filling every hour with noise and entertainment, staying busy for the sake of looking busy. And because that version of happiness is so loudly celebrated, anyone who doesn't follow it gets labeled as lonely, awkward, or emotionally fragile. But the truth is, some people naturally enjoy spending more time alone. That doesn't mean they're sad, and it definitely doesn't mean they're broken. Being alone is not a problem when you don't feel lonely. And that's where we need a very clear distinction, something I wish more people understood: the difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness and solitude are two completely different emotional experiences, and the way we respond to them shapes our mental well-being. Solitude is the peaceful appreciation of your own company. Solitude means enjoying a quiet afternoon reading a book, cooking a slow meal, watching the rain, journaling with a cup of tea, sitting with your cat, or simply being in your own space without feeling like something is missing. Solitude feels nurturing, grounding, warm, and restorative. It's a choice you make because your inner world feels safe. Loneliness, on the other hand, is a deeply painful emotional state. Studies actually show that chronic loneliness is associated with an increased risk of mortality. Loneliness isn't about the absence of people around you. It's about feeling unseen, unsupported, abandoned, or emotionally disconnected. People who experience loneliness often can't shake the feeling that they have no one to turn to, even when others are physically present. And loneliness distorts reality. It creates the perception that no one cares, no one would help, no one understands, and no one is truly available. A person who lives in loneliness doesn't see helping hands even when they exist. Meanwhile, someone who lives in solitude may have a small social circle, but genuinely feels supported, safe, and stable. Solitude is an internal state of fullness. Loneliness is an internal state of emptiness. So if you're someone like me, someone who lives alone, someone who has close relationships that are meaningful enough, someone who doesn't need constant external stimulation to feel whole. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you. Nothing. You're not missing out. You're not wasting your youth. You're not wasting your life. You're not depressed because you'd rather stay home on a Saturday night than go clubbing. You're simply aligned with your own natural rhythm, and that is the most emotionally intelligent thing you can do. But the narrative around this can be exhausting. You know that feeling when people tell you, "Oh my God, you're so young. You should be out every weekend. Life is short. Go drink, go party, go live." And meanwhile, all you want is to cook a nice dinner, watch a movie you love, take a warm shower, cuddle your pet, and enjoy the quiet comfort of your own company. That version of life, slow, peaceful, cozy, is not a sign of depression. For many of us, it's the opposite. It's healing. It's grounding. It's authentic. What can actually harm an introverted or naturally quiet person is forcing themselves into environments that drain them. When someone who thrives in solitude pushes themselves into constant social exposure just to fit a lifestyle they don't want, that chronic stress can truly damage their mental health. So yes, for some people, going to parties every weekend is healthy. For others, it is the complete opposite. Forcing yourself into a lifestyle that doesn't match your mind and personality can easily lead to anxiety, burnout, loss of identity, or even depression. Human beings are not identical. Some naturally prefer more social interaction. Others naturally prefer less. There has always been a distribution within society of people who feel energized in groups, and others who feel alive in quiet moments alone. There is no right way to be a person. The only real danger is when we don't know who we are, and we let others force us into a mold that doesn't belong to us. Social media plays a huge role in this pressure. It pushes curated lifestyles onto us, convincing us that we should enjoy things we genuinely don't. So please be honest with yourself. Be loyal to your own nature. Protect your boundaries. Protect your peace. Protect your energy. But also stay aware. Don't isolate yourself excessively, because extreme isolation can be harmful even for introverts. Just don't force yourself into exposure that doesn't feel right for you. Balance is the key. Sometimes I think this topic is one of the reasons I created the dopamine reservoir and why it grew to over 100,000 people in just a year and a half. The community resonated because I try to show that a good life, a meaningful life, a joyful life does not require you to surrender to the luxuries and temptations society tries to push on us. We talk a lot over there about behavior, psychology, emotional clarity, and intentional living. And one of the most watched lessons is lesson 27. Society weakens the competition. It's not some conspiracy or hidden secret. It's simply psychology. That lesson explains something fundamental. Our behavior is shaped by reinforcement, punishment, and the verbal community around us. The people you spend time with, the environments you expose yourself to, and the ideas you absorb directly shape your habits, your choices, your mindset, and your self-perception. If you surround yourself with people who complain all the time, who act like everything is unfair, who numb themselves with alcohol or drugs, who treat life like a hopeless battle, who mock effort, who sabotage dreams, who take no responsibility, who see themselves as victims of the world, you will eventually become an average reflection of that environment. Not because you're weak, but because behavior is contagious. The issue today is that social media algorithms choose your community for you, often without your awareness. You start consuming negative content, and the algorithm gives you more. You watch chaos, and it feeds you more chaos. Day after day, you end up absorbing a lifestyle of distraction, addiction, procrastination, low standards, and emotional stagnation. And gradually, like a shopping cart with a broken wheel, you drift sideways into a dysfunctional version of yourself without even noticing. You begin to think that your old lifestyle, the quiet one, the mindful one, the home-centered one, was wrong. You start interpreting peaceful living as a failure. But maybe nothing was wrong with you at all. Maybe the real issue is the world trying to convince you that your natural rhythm is unacceptable. Sometimes people tell me, "Jenny, you should go out more. You should drink more. You're still young." And honestly, that kind of pressure used to get under my skin. Now I simply say, this is my version of happiness. On a Saturday night, while other people are out partying, I'm probably cooking something simple and comforting, lighting a candle, listening to soft music, watching a show I love, or journaling. And that brings me joy, deep, grounded joy. This video, or in this case, this long conversation with you, is my way of finally putting that into words so that next time someone tries to pressure me, I can simply send them the link and say, "Here, this is how I live, and I like it." If you've ever felt misunderstood because you enjoy solitude, if people tell you you're boring or wasting your life because you're not living according to their script, I hope this message brings you peace. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to adopt a lifestyle that isn't yours. You don't need to force enthusiasm for things that drain you. Happiness is personal. Joy is personal. Peace is personal. Your nature is not an accident, it's guidance. Your intuition is not weakness, it's wisdom. Honor it. Find your rhythm. Protect your internal world. And never apologize for choosing a life that feels authentic, even if it looks quiet on the outside. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'm Jenny from Happy Aura. Take a deep breath, find your center, and I'll see you in the next video.